On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony goes to war and Ethan survives love. We also talk about all the news from this week's Nintendo Direct presentation and answer your questions. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
That was a quick howdy.
That did seem a little fast, didn't it?
Yeah, you were like under a second on there. Usually you're like, howdy. Well, that's too slow. But yeah, you're usually slower than that.
I'm excited because there's a Nintendo Direct to talk about this week, and I just want to get to it.
The hype is real.
There was a lot of good stuff in that Direct, so I walked away from it very, very happy.
I drove away from it and back into it very happy.
I mean, it started strong, it ended strong, and there was some good stuff in the middle. There were a few things I didn't really care about. Everybody will get to hear all that. We've already recorded that part of the show, so I know what's going on. But there were a few things in there I was like, yeah, whatever, I don't really care about that. But the beginning and the end was all I needed to be very happy with that. And then, of course, they highlighted Fire Emblem. So
yeah, we can just get rid of that. That's all in the middle. Just the beginning and the end is all we needed.
Hey. I'm going to say the shape of the Direct for hype was like a W. It started strong, got a little weak, was strong in the middle, got a little weak, and was strong at the end. So, at least for me, that's what I came away thinking. So I was very, very happy. There were some things I thought might have shown up that didn't.
And the stuff you didn't expect to show up did?
Yes, exactly. So, but we'll get all to that. We got to get to some other stuff. So, what have you been playing this week?
I played a little bit of Catherine.
Really?
You may remember this from the PS3 and 360 era?
I do. They're remaking that game too, aren't they?
Yes. And in the meantime, they re-released, or well, I guess not they released Catherine Classic on Steam.
Okay.
And Valentine's Day was rolling around. I was like, hey, I'm going to stream and play this game.
That sounds like the perfect time to play that game about a girl that wants to eat you. Or something. I don't actually know what
close enough. I'm pretty much where I was at on the PS3 version whenever I stopped streaming.
Yeah.
And that was just an hour in, so yay.
Like, I really tried to play that game. I just could not get into Catherine at all. I did not like that block puzzle stuff, especially because of the like time limit portion of it.
Yeah, there's the time limit, everything's falling down beneath you. And then in some cases you have things chasing you, and then there's the other guys that get in the way while you're climbing. It can get really nerve-wracking, and then there's the skill that's needed to do quicker climbing on there and solving puzzles, like the tornado skill where you pull one out, drop down, pull another, drop out, and you just do a 360 around this whole thing as you go down and then just pop all the way back up to the top. That's insane to me.
You give me a block pulling game like Pushmo and I'll be all over it.
Simpler times, right?
Exactly. I wonder if Nintendo's going to do anything else with that franchise.
Has it been 10 years yet?
It's been a while. It hasn't been 10 years. But because those were all 3DS games and the 3DS is only 8 years old.
Alright, give them a couple more years and we might be good to go.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, Valentine's Day, Catherine. I'm really thinking this would probably be one of those moments where I need to just grab Stuart and say, hey, we're streaming this.
Yeah.
Whereas I usually grab Jason, he didn't pop in until like the last half of the stream on there, and he was distracted most of the time anyway on that too. So
are you gonna finish this?
I really need to finish this since this has some weird ties to, I guess, Persona in some way or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm interested in finishing this one, and I really want to get Stuart to help me with the stream because it like with Doki Doki Literature Club, it's just one of those games where me and him have a better chemistry for the conversation going on during the game
Yeah.
than usual. So I think I'll see if he's interested, but I haven't asked him yet.
Yeah, if I was all I'd say is that dude has goat horns and the girl's trying to eat you. So that's all I'd be saying during Catherine. And I really don't know if that's what happens, but that's what it seems like to me. It's like she's just out to eat everybody, and somehow you grow goat horns. I don't know what's going on in that game.
It, somehow in the dream world, you see yourself with the sheep horns, and then everyone else you see is big anthropomorphic looking sheep or whatever. They're on the hind legs, and then they see you as sheep and themselves as humans.
Yeah.
So each individual person sees himself as a person, but everyone else is sheep. So it's what you're seeing is what they're seeing for themselves.
Okay, it's weird. And I know there's like one girl named Catherine, then there's another girl named Catherine. I think there might be a third girl named Catherine. I don't know.
Probably in the new one. But yeah, that's going to be a thing. I'm going to stream, try to beat that game, and then I guess I can be done with that in time for the new one.
And then you get to start all over again.
Start all over again, yes. Unless they decide to do like a weird update to PC. Which I doubt they will.
And this time the guy's trying to eat everybody. And Catherine has goat horns.
That's just weird. What have you been playing, Tony?
Let's see. I'll give you a choice.
Okay.
I've been playing a couple of different things. One of them is a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the other one is also a shooter. So you have your choice. You can take Shooter 1, which was on the PS4, or you can take Shooter 2, which is on the Switch. Which would you rather talk about?
I know Shooter 2 has been out for a number of years.
No, Shooter 2 has actually only been out for a couple of days.
Shooter 2 has been out on other systems for a while.
It has, yeah, if you count your phone as a system.
And I know from that video it did not look that fun. But you did say you fought a giant mech in another shooter, and I'd rather hear about that game.
I didn't actually do the mech mission. It had disappeared by the time I went to...
Oh no, I hope it's there when I get on that.
So, I'll talk a little bit about both of them, because they're very different. So let's talk about the one you're referring to with the mech. That's a Warface on the PS4, which has been out. It was actually out on the 360 back in like 2013 or something.
Back in the medieval times when video games ran on coal.
Back when there were 360 Xboxes. So, no, that is a free-to-play shooter on the PS4. I don't know if it's on Xbox One. I think it is.
Warface?
Don't know for sure. And it is out on Steam. So, but it's shooter in the vein of like Call of Duty game. It's got a big focus on multiplayer. In fact, everything in the game is multiplayer in some form or another. There's no straight single player stuff that I have seen outside of the 4 training missions that you get just to unlock the classes in the game.
It looks like Warface came out in October on Xbox One. Okay.
So it is out on both systems. It is not out on Switch. I would like it to come out on Switch. I think it's a good fit for Switch, but it's not out on Switch yet. So, and like I said, there are 4 different classes you can choose from. There's like a, oh, excuse me. There's your assault class, which is just your straight up soldier. I think there's a recon class, and he can actually pinpoint enemies and call out enemy positions to the other members of your team and have them be visible on the map. There's a medic and a sniper. Medic is pretty self-explanatory. You go around healing people. Except nobody ever does that for some reason. or
Man,
not very often.
I forget what game it was. I think it was one of the modern warfare games. I played as a medic on the multiplayer on that for a little bit and just running around reviving people in the middle of combat just because I had nothing better to do. It's like they pop up and get shot back down immediately.
If medics in this game would actually heal other people, that would be great. I've had one match where I've actually had a medic that's actually running around trying to revive people. Because the medic can actually, if you get taken out, like taken out, they can actually, you have a few seconds where if the medic shows up, there's a countdown timer above your head. And if they show up before that countdown timer runs down, they can actually revive you by taking the, defibrillator to you and just shocking you back to life.
See, I don't know about you, but in actual getting taken out in actual combat and then defibrillated right there on the field, I ain't popping back into battle right away.
I'm like, you guys take this. I need some rest.
It's like, what, where, what, who? Oh,
So, it's got traditional multiplayer, PvP stuff, you team deathmatch, free for all. There's some other modes. I've pretty much stuck to team deathmatch and free for all. There's one like where you have to go and defuse a bomb. There's other ones that are sort of like King of the Hill type missions and things like that. I haven't done really any of those yet. There's another one that I have done. I really liked. It was a capture point type match where there are three different places on the map that the attacking team has to try to um, take over. And if those three positions, if the attacking team takes those three positions, they win that round, and then you switch sides,
hmm.
and then the attackers then become the defenders, and vice versa. I've played a couple of those, and my team has actually completed the objective each time we've done it. So if we were the attacking team, we actually took the three positions. If we were the defending team, we actually kept the opposing team from getting to the third position. So we actually won both rounds in that, and that was actually really fun. Um, but what I really like in that game, and I think I can actually see myself playing this quite a lot, is the co-op mode. There's two different co-op modes. There's a standard co-op mode and then like special forces co-op mode once you get a little higher up. So, and in those, you drop into a squad of 5 players, and it is all human players that I've seen. There may be some bots in there, but I can't tell. It seems like everybody has been humans. Um, and so in the standard missions, they're a little bit shorter, pretty straightforward. Run down some corridors, you'll find a spot where it opens up. There are enemy bots that you then have to take out, and you just continue on, and you try to complete the mission.
Hmm.
Um, and you actually have different difficulty levels that you can do. So you can choose an easy version of the mission, a normal version of the mission, or a hard version of the mission, which will change the number of enemies and the strength of the enemy based on which difficulty level you choose. But the missions also seem to rotate. So we were talking about when I first downloaded the game the other day. One of the missions was taking out a giant mech, and I said, "This is like a Metal Gear thing going on here," and that piqued your interest a little bit. Um, but I said I wanted to wait because you were going to download the game, and by the time you had gotten the game downloaded, the the mech mission had gone away, and I haven't seen that come back into the rotation yet. I'm assuming it will, um, but it seems like every hour or so, the missions that you have that you can choose from um, rotate around. So I'm waiting for that to come back. That I think keeps the game a little fresh. Um, and keeps you from doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Right.
There have been some other missions where like it was straight missions where you were like pinned in by an enemy and you were waiting for uh, an evac, and so all you're doing is you're defending this one position. It's sort of like those zombie games like Call of Duty and stuff like that, where you have a very small portion that you're trying to defend and keep the zombies from getting to you. It's that sort of mission, and you're just waiting for a helicopter to come in and evac your team out.
I
Uh,
always find those to be really nerve wracking.
yeah. They are, and they can be those types of missions. If you get taken out and killed and you can't come back, you don't respawn back into that. You have to wait until the your teammates hit a checkpoint. But because you don't go anywhere, they never reach a checkpoint, so you're kind of out of luck in those. In other missions, uh, where there's multiple segments, and when you hit a checkpoint, it automatically reloads or reloads all your ammo, anything you've expended. So if you've used up all your grenades, anything like that, it restocks your ammo and grenades, and then it also brings back any teammates that have fallen previously. So they respawn at the checkpoints. And that portion of the game feels a lot like Call of Duty. It's got that same sort of, it's got the shooting mechanics. It feels a lot like Call of Duty to me, where aiming down sights, it'll snap to an enemy if you're close enough to them, which makes for some really nice, super quick combat segments. If you can get close enough and hit the aim down sights button, you can take out an enemy in one shot because it'll snap to their head if you're close enough to their head. Um, and it feels really good when you do stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then there are special forces missions, which are much longer missions. I've only done one of those, and it took about 45 minutes, and we actually ended up failing the mission, which was really frustrating. But it was in Pripyat, so you're running through places like if you've played Call of Duty 4, some other shooters that feel very familiar. So like you see the pool, you run through the amusement park, and then it ends up you're on top of this giant tower where that is nowhere in actual Pripyat. So
Is
they've
it
taken
is it Millennium Tower?
no, it's not.
Oh,
So, and the point of the mission was that this corporation, because Warface is all about corporations having their own armies and things like that. And this corporation has gotten a new uh, airplane design
hmm.
that is super powerful. It has shields that are around it, and you're tasked with taking that out. And the last portion of the mission is up at the top of this tower where you can see 360 degrees around you, and it's circling around, and other helicopters are dropping in enemy soldiers, and it's really hectic. There's a lot of stuff going on. All the while, you're trying to find rocket launchers that are scattered around the environment up there and use those to shoot at this enemy plane to take it down. We got one hit away from finishing that mission,
uh,
and our last player got taken out.
that. Mm,
I was so mad when that happened, because it was me and him were the last two there. I got taken out, and then it was him by himself for like 5 minutes in this match, just taking out enemy soldiers and finding the rocket launchers, and he got so close, and it was incredibly frustrating. But up until that point, I had a ton of fun playing with this. I was not expecting for a free to play shooter to have as much fun as I was. It does have a lot of free to play mechanics. There's a little bit of a pay to win type thing in the PvP multiplayer where you don't get weapons permanently. You rent weapons for a period of time. So it can be like you can rent weapons for a day or 2 days or 30
hmm.
days. There are a few and some ways that you can get permanent access to some weapons, but not all weapons. And getting permanent access to them usually requires spending real money. Um,
The only other time I've seen that done, I think, was S4 League.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like you could try out whatever weapon you wanted, and you get it for like a set amount of game time.
Hmm.
So, like, say 24 hours, and it would slowly count down as you played the game.
Yeah. And this does the same thing. It's 24 hours real time. So, and to rent weapons like that, it uses in game currency. And it can be like $2,000 to rent it for a day or $5,000 to rent it for a week. Um, you're not gonna, unless you're playing constantly, you're not gonna earn enough to just keep that, keep your money up high enough to where you can just constantly rent weapons and armor and things like that over and over and over
Yeah.
again.
It's pretty much
So
test it out until you find what you're good at, and then buy that
and
one for
then
keeps.
pay real money for that for keeps. Yeah, um, which is a little icky to me, but uh, I've mostly stuck to the PVE co-op stuff, and that is not, you don't need that stuff as much in that. You only really need the really higher level weapons in the PvP stuff, and so there is a little bit of that pay to win aspect in that case. Um, but for the co-op stuff, you don't really need that. Any of the money that you get um, will give you weapons that are plenty strong enough for the co-op modes. And I can see there being spending a lot of time in those co-op modes because missions continue to rotate out, and you have two different types of co-op missions that you do: the regular ones that are shorter, and then the special forces longer missions. So, and if it takes 45 minutes to an hour to do a special forces mission, and there's like 8 or 10 or 12 of them, there's a good chunk of time right there that you never have to spend any money to play the game.
Nice.
So I've had a lot of fun with it. Have dabbled with the PvP stuff, but I know that I'm not going to put in real money to get that stuff permanently, so I don't know how far that portion of the game will go, but I'll get enough enjoyment out of the co-op stuff that I'm perfectly fine with that. And then the other game I want to talk about, I'll just talk about this one quickly, is on the Switch, just came out this week. It's called Modern Combat Blackout. It is developed by Gameloft. It's actually Gameloft's first game on the Switch,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a port of a mobile game that came out in 2014, I think,
Mm-hmm.
called Modern Combat 5 Blackout. So it's actually the
Mm-hmm.
fifth game in a series that they've put out, but it's the first one that they've put out on the Switch. And I'm a little mixed in this one. Um,
Uh,
I showed you
I'm a
again,
little
but
miffed after watching your footage of that game.
so some of the stuff that I've shown you, it was really bad. The movement doesn't feel good. It feels like you're running through Jello, and you're quote running, but it doesn't feel like you're running. Your character doesn't really move that fast, so it's kind of like he's speed walking
At the speed of walk.
at the speed of like walking a half speed.
It's a heavy walk.
So so like the old people walking around the mall. It's kind of like that. When it's 7 o'clock in the morning and the old ladies are walking around the mall. They're walking about that speed. Um, and not only is the movement weird, it's not only the speed, but with a lot of the weapons I actually have since I sent you that first video. And I'll try to send you some extra videos so you can put them in here in the show. I've found a couple of weapons that remove that sort of shaky walk,
The head
like
bob.
was in that video. Yeah, the game has some major head bob, and it makes it very disorienting. It's hard to keep focused on what you're looking at. But I have found a couple of weapons that get rid of that, and so it makes the movement a little bit more smooth, and it doesn't feel quite like you're walking through Jello. So as you get further into the game, you get some things that sort of reduce all of the issues that I've had early on. Recoil is another huge issue in the game, and you kind of see it in that clip where the guns have major recoil, and it's very, very difficult to do any kind of proper aiming at enemy soldiers in the game.
Ju- I gotta know. You're supposed to be like trained military in this, right?
Yes,
Uh,
you are a veteran soldier.
okay.
Uh, so the multiplayer also is a little strange. There's a couple different modes. You've got a free for all, team deathmatch. That's all I've seen. It's just those, and I think there's 7 maps. in there that you can pick from. Um, I've spent probably about an hour playing multiplayer in this game, and I've gotten some stuff that eliminates a little bit of that I've been talking about. So as you level up, whether you're playing single player or multiplayer, it all goes into this like centralized experience pool, which is kind of nice. I really like this about the game. Whether you're playing single player or multiplayer, you're always progressing. Um, the game was originally a mobile game, and so it had microtransactions, free to play elements in it. Those have been removed in this and have been replaced with this experience pool, basically. And so as you use different weapons, play different missions, you'll level up different parts for your weapons. So, like, you'll see after a mission, you'll the outline of a gun will pop up and it'll fill up an experience bar, and if that experience bar gets all the way filled up, it unlocks that weapon or that silencer or that I don't know what they're called in a gun. It's like a stabilizer or a handle at the front of the gun that you
Oh
hold
yeah, yeah.
to reduce recoil.
Whatever the
The
grip thing.
grip,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and so anything you do in the game constantly is building that experience and unlocking new stuff. So it makes progression a little faster than it would in some other games where it's just like the multiplayer and the single player are completely separate entities. In this, it's not. So that's one really really nice aspect to it, and I think if I level up and get enough experience, I'll eventually find the right balance of weapon versus bad movement in the game to sort of balance it out and make it a somewhat enjoyable experience. I'm not hating the game, I just don't really like the game, if that makes any sense.
It would drive me crazy from what little I saw on there. It's like no, I wouldn't even give it a shot after
Yeah,
that.
going back and forth between Warface and Modern Combat, I can tell which one I prefer, and which one. If Modern Combat had the movement and the shooting from Warface, it would be a much better game. Um, it just doesn't. So that's why I would love to see a game like Warface move over to the Switch, because Modern Combat, I think, is the first real first person shooter of the Call of Duty style to be on the Switch. And I think it could garner some sales just because people on the Switch really are looking for a Call of Duty style shooter, and they haven't really gotten anything like that on the system so far.
The Halo, the COD, the
Yeah.
Battlefield. Yeah.
If you just want a game that you can turn on the Switch and shoot people, get Warframe, because it's a really good game. It's a really good shooter. It just is a futuristic style, Destiny style shooter, and not a Call of
It's
Duty
more
style
ninja
shooter.
and melee, but the shooting on there is pretty decent.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's not a bad game. It's just not a good game either. It's a mediocre, average, at best shooter. So I'm gonna put a little bit more time in it, see if I can get rid of some of those issues. But it stinks that I have to put 2 or 3 hours into the game to get to where it's a playable, enjoyable experience rather than being able to enjoy it from the start like I did with Warface. So,
That's fair.
uh, but that is it for me. So let's take a quick break, and then after the break, we've recorded our sort of reactions in a conversation over the Nintendo Direct that happened this week. Ethan, you're going to put that into the show, and that's going to basically be our news section for this week.
If you're listening to the audio version of this, I recommend going and watching the YouTube version because we didn't really account for the audio version when we were
Yeah,
watching it.
we just basically talk over it, and so you're not going to get a complete picture of everything if you're just listening to the audio version. Go check out the YouTube version of the show. This is the first time that's ever really been an issue with us. So go check out the YouTube version and watch that, because you'll be able to understand what we're talking about. But then after the direct, we'll come back and answer our listener feedback. Nintendo
Direct.
I missed that Iwata thing, man.
Yeah, it's very different without that.
Ooh, Mario Maker.
Okay.
We knew this was coming.
Yeah, this was very much known. The slopes are a nice addition.
Yeah, this was them saying, "Hey, internet, we're listening to you. Now, please stop saying the word slopes."
Can they get rid of the shadow though? That bugs me more than anything on
The
Mario.
shadow?
Yeah, because it's like he's running in front of a
Oh, yeah, like he's running in front of a backdrop or something.
yeah backdrop. That's the word.
I don't know if you know this, but the entire Mario franchise just takes place in front of a green screen.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Water.
They got
All
the
right.
snake blocks.
It's like it's like they actually looked at the actual custom Mario level community and said, "How do we do this?"
Ooh, hey, 3D world stuff.
Okay, now I'm in for
I
a
wonder if this is
surprise.
going to be the only thing they bring back, or bring in addition to. You think they do Mario 2 this time around? Like, I don't know what they would do, but because Mario 2 is so much different than everything
Yeah,
else.
it's massively different. It was built around scrolling where you could scroll from one side of the level to the other, or the screen to the other, and then there was a bunch of vertical.
Yeah,
So that's what made it so different.
I like him. He's a good replacement for Iwata for the Nintendo Directs.
First look at the brand new sequel, Super Mario Maker.
It's amazing how he talks without his voice being in sync.
I think my kids have watched this trailer like 100 times since the Direct.
Are in development as we speak.
I really hope the volume's not too much on this.
All right. Next, let's cover today's Nintendo Switch.
Oh well, too late to pause it now.
Yeah. We're not going back.
I just left it in streamer mode, the way I usually record. Or, yeah, the way I usually stream.
I'm curious, how did they get this as a Nintendo exclusive this time around?
I don't know.
Like, I wonder if Nintendo is footing the bill for this. It seems like an odd choice if they are, or just what's going on.
I'm still not pleased with how it looks.
I don't think it's bad.
I don't know. There's just something about it that bugs me, and
It does
I
have
don't
a
know what.
little bit of like a free-to-play mobile game look.
Yes, it's that's. I guess that's what's bugging me. It looks too close to the most recent mobile games.
Yeah, but I don't think it's bad overall, and I think once you're actually looking at it on your screen, it'll probably be okay.
I'm not gonna play it anyway, so it doesn't bug me a little bit at all.
So yeah, I played the first two, so I would probably play this one.
Take teamwork to unprecedented levels as you creatively combine hero skills into synergy attacks. Your most powerful
Also, for some reason, seeing Gamora, how she looks on here, bugs me, and I know that's how she looks in the comics or whatever.
off the charts
Yeah,
it-
I
it's
want
like-
the Kate Blanchett look
Yes.
for that character from Thor.
Yeah, it just
welcome back, Bob.
Box Boy. All right.
Get ready to unload some boxes and have fun doing it.
Did he just throw off a part of himself?
He threw a box. He can throw boxes now.
This brand new game is tightly packed with tons of content.
But you know, it's just Solid Snake in the box.
That's the twist at the end. Ooh,
Box Girl.
box girl.
Players can box it up together. To the scoreboard,
Box it up together.
planet.
None of the other games were multiplayer at all, were they?
Not that I know of.
After completing the story,
Honestly, I've never played any of the other games either.
starring Cutie.
Cutie.
It's
I think I've played one of them.
a interesting name.
In all, there are 270 stages to do.
Box Baby.
That's the highest.
I like the one with the glasses there in the middle.
Brain boxes. Think outside the box and lead our heroes to the goal.
These are really fun puzzle games if you've never played them.
Load on Nintendo Switch.
I'm sure I'd love them if I ever got around to buying them.
The ultimate spring update.
It's a
More
big egg.
Smash. You know, they can't have a direct at this point without mentioning the word Super Smash Brothers.
Version 3.0.
What are we at?
Seriously?
Comes in the spring.
We'll just have to wait to find out.
That mean
Oh, look.
every time the entire the big number on the version change, that means a whole rewrite, in my opinion.
He's secretly thinking
Yeah,
And I
they're
don't
gonna,
see this being enough of a
come before the
revision.
end of April.
Well, they basically use it as just like balance tweaking and stuff like that. And the last time we got the big update, we got Piranha Plants, so I think Joker will be out. He's supposed to be out before the end of April, I think.
Okay.
And that'll go with the, I think, the 3.0 update.
So
That's it. No more Smash.
Well, they showed a Solid Snake amiibo.
Oh well, that's all. That's all that matters.
Exactly.
In fact, we have 2 new announcements for the Nintendo Switch version.
More Captain Toad.
You're not getting the stuff that was on Wii U version.
Or 2-player co-op. Maybe Captain Toad won't be so nervous with someone at his side.
Yeah, he'll still be
Are
nervous.
better than one, and an extra set of hands goes a long way. This free update will be available later today.
Toad and Purple Toad.
Some paid downloadable
I'm guessing it's local only.
We're adding in 18
Yeah,
new
it is.
challenges that'll see you traveling to 5 new courses
Ooh,
As much as I
DLC.
like the game, it's not going to do me any good with the multiplayer.
and achieving new objectives.
And sorry, Wii U players, DLC, no DLC for you.
Sorry, fans of the Wii U version, that those levels you liked from that Mario game are on this one,
Alone or with a
right?
I need to pick up this. I think you can get the whole bundle for like $45 on the eShop right now.
Really?
giving you early access
Yeah.
to one of the courses. The rest of the content will
Yeah, it
run
gives you the
right
game
away.
plus the DLC
If you don't have
bundled
the
in.
game yet, look out for a digital bundle available on Nintendo eShop later today. It contains
Have
Later
you-
today?
have
Oh
you
my
played this?
gosh.
you access to Captain Toad
This one?
Tracker's special
Yeah.
episode once
Or
No,
just
I-
Captain Toad in general.
Yeah, I played the Wii U one.
Play the
though.
Wii U version?
I did a lot on that one.
Steal yourself for old school action.
Okay, this
The-
is for you.
This one bugs me that this announcement happened and then the email and everything happened with Kickstarter.
Bloodstained ritual of the night. And so,
It's weird that
young lady Miriam,
all of this information's coming out of Nintendo Direct because this is not a Nintendo exclusive, is it?
No.
demons rocked by the curse's original host.
If it was, I'd be a little mad for my PS4 version, or
These
was it
powers
PS4?
can steal the abilities of
Yeah, PS4
Like,
version that I
I
registered.
haven't heard anything about this game until now.
at lightning speed. Here, the laws
Yeah, this is
It looks
showing
really
stuff
good.
that I had no idea was even going to be in the game, like the
treasure trove of side
the laser thing she did earlier.
and small
Yeah.
pieces flesh out the campaign.
Your body is covered with weird decorations.
They're called tattoos, man.
Should you be saying that?
Subquests and more. Stop the fall of man.
See, I didn't know about the
think that's harassment.
customization. I'm sure it is somewhere. Why is Bayonetta's dragon on the loose?
I was just getting ready to ask that.
This summer,
Ooh, it comes out. Hey, we have a release window now.
The summer.
the time has come to build a new world
Yes.
on the children
Man, I can't wait to play this.
on an empty island.
Multiplayer.
Yourself with the mysterious
This is everything that I wanted Minecraft to be. Was Dragon Quest Builders.
We just need to both get it on the same system now.
I will be getting it on the Switch.
local co-op
You and your Switch.
Hey, that's my system, man.
I know.
and reach new heights by building
If it
I
has
would
crossplay, I
absolutely-
would have no problem with the with the version that I would buy at that point.
I would absolutely play through this with you though, because this
First person mode looked Minecraft like. That's great.
all over the new retro-inspired map.
That map is huge.
On the Nintendo Switch system,
Apparently, you have a really good height limit on the building too.
Yeah.
Dragon Lord's Throne.
The Japanese community rebuilt
Builders 2 launches
Kami, I think up to Korin's tower on Kami's tower from Dragon Ball.
first.
Really?
Yeah, which is a ridiculously huge tower, and Korin lives like halfway up the place.
We have a new announcement for that.
Or is he right below? I don't know.
Please take a look.
That's the Switch thing right there. Oh,
The Switch snap.
Then there's Dragon Quest, the series that defined the genre, and the latest entry is charging onto Nintendo Switch in full force, pairing the series'
Neat.
beloved style and perfectly balanced battles with the most impressive scope and a level story in series history.
I'm so glad I have held out on this and that we now have a
Definitive version.
release. Yeah.
The boy that prophecy says will succeed the
Do we know if the
and protect
PS4 version's getting that definitive edition?
I haven't heard. I would not think so because that was specific to the 3DS, like the stuff they were adding. Um,
Finally discovers his true heritage and the
so I'm not sure. I don't think it is though.
That's sad.
to the king of the largest kingdom for guidance. He is dumb,
Like they might get some stuff because I think,
of a hunted hero, and the
and we'll find out here in just a minute everything that's in this. But they're packing a ton of stuff into this game.
Android 18 doesn't use a no 17 doesn't use a sword.
And it looks really good. Like the Switch version doesn't look. I mean, I know it's not as visually impressive as the PS4 version, but it looks really good.
Yeah, I still haven't played a Dragon Quest game other than Builders.
earn skill points which can be used to teach party members attacks, spells, and improve their abilities.
But I do know that metal slimes are worth the XP.
Oh,
Oh wait, no, I played that one on DS, didn't I? That's right.
which one? They put a bunch of them on 3DS or DS.
Question
Oh,
mark?
on DS?
DS OG.
Yeah, so that was 9.
Okay, yeah, that's the only one I've ever played.
Power to choose on the fly between the land's gorgeous
Didn't get too
I
far
think it-
before I got bored.
2D 16-bit glorious.
At this point, you can play
This is also
every single Dragon Quest mainline Dragon Quest game except the first 3 on 3DS.
Really?
You can play. You got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not 10 because that was that was dumb.
Yes.
And then you can play 11 if you import the Japanese version.
And a Japanese 3DS, yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's not region free, is it?
Nope.
I forgot about that. Hey, it's Poof Poof Girl.
Pafu Pafu.
I have wanted to play this game, but I am really glad that I held off.
first-time players and veterans should also look forward to new stories. Each
New
sees one of the
stories.
main
This is nice.
spotlight, shedding new light
Oh no, the 6
Like,
Chaos
it
Emeralds.
adventure.
I don't know how deep those stories are, but it reminds me a little bit of like Final Fantasy for the After Years, where every character had their own DLC quests.
You see what they did other times or something, right?
Yeah.
While we just announced the addition of these new stories, there will be more new information to share in the future. Please look forward to learning more.
Like, I'll have to
Now, let's
play through this game twice because I know I want to play through it once in 3D and once in 2D.
I caught Dragon Quest while I was at work because I got to watch that part and talk to you about that briefly. Saw part
Don't
of
tell
this,
Shannon about this one.
right? And then I saw this one, and then it was like, all right, work day's done. I'm going home.
Like, this is one of those. This could be one of those free-to-play games that comes out on the Switch, and that
You have to pay
it
for
has
your
in-game
Tsum
stuff.
You can play online as well with players from around the world.
Like, I know my daughter would love to play this.
And you can't mention Disney's Tsum Tsum without
And of course, you've got to have mobile mode.
matching
Yeah.
Tsum Tsum to clear them and set a high score. The game also features a two-player mode for local and online competitive matches.
Viva!
Disney Tsum Tsum Festival will steal our hearts in 2019.
I think I called it Tsum Tsum Winter Olympics.
We're taking
Yeah,
over
you did.
Call in the Atlas Star System.
Star Fox.
I need to go back and finish this.
It's none other than
So is this like the Star Fox Other Stuff edition now, or
the great
Yeah, this is extra Star Fox content for the game.
what bugs me? Anytime I've looked up footage for Starlink, it's nothing
It's
but Star.
always been Fox.
It's always
Yeah.
Star Fox.
find in the spring update of Star
It's like no one got the PS4 version for whatever reason.
The Star Fox team has their own
Well,
pilot ability.
no, because everybody wanted to play Star Fox.
Pilot can take on any
I'm not sure how well this game is actually done. It's really fun. Like, it's not a terrible game. It does have some pacing issues.
It looks really slow to me. Like when I think Star Fox, I think a little bit faster, like
Racing.
what we were seeing in the racing there, just for the combat, not the racing but itself.
I wonder if that is that Star Fox racing stuff that people have been hearing rumors about.
crops up once
and there's not actually a Star Fox Racing game.
Another reason to wield
Oh, hey, this is what Harvest Moon has turned into, right?
Yeah, this is Rune Factory. At first I thought this was Secret of Mana, and I called it the wrong thing. But I need to play this because I haven't played 4. I love the Rune Factory series though.
this fantastical circle of life will
You need
Like
to play.
I like that
more in Rune Factory 4.
You need to play some.
Stardew Valley.
Yes, Stardew Valley.
Yeah,
Alongside townsfolk, and before long, you may
I've gotten to the point where I have way too many things that I want to play right now.
That's called a backlog,
what the heart-pounding newlywed life has in store for you.
or as I call
Oh.
it, the games you'll never play that you own.
Yeah,
Rune Factory 4 Special
and that's why I haven't bought Stardew Valley yet, because I know I would want to put a ton of time into it. I just don't know that I would be able to.
I think it took me and Jason like a year to beat a whole year on there.
confirmed that Rune Factory 5 is in development. Look forward to more info in the future.
Wonder if that's going to be a Switch exclusive.
Most likely.
Soon, a time will come to slay monsters and
A time will come to slay monsters. OMG.
souls
That never happens in games.
in this
It's like, what if I want to befriend monsters and not
This-
fight them?
lost sphere.
I think this looks really good too. This is by the same guys that did those other. It's the Square RPG Factory.
The whole town's creepy in the dark on there, and everyone's out there. That's weird.
Kagachi must travel
What's wrong with those people?
the world and the beyond to rescue
Look,
lost
ghost
souls
people.
from terrible fate, becoming monsters.
Are you a watcher? Who watches you?
Who watches the Watchmen?
The lost souls you've rescued can manifest within you, granting you new
Don't look now. There's a
What-
ghost behind you.
What, like, are these his stand or whatever?
for the situation at hand. In this deep single-player campaign,
These are his personas. This is like a new Persona game,
Okay, so it is a stand. All right.
who fall to grief are lost.
or they're like his, the dragons in Blue Dragon.
That's fine. Just stand there, little girl. I'm gonna hold this big sword back.
Don't help me.
He was very, not very emotional about it either. Just
You know what that means?
Man,
The world is almost
this game looks really good too.
this time.
it does. It's just, I hope it's good.
Courses on display. As Yoshi
Yoshi on the back of a Yoshi.
race solar cars,
Solar cars.
tear through the sky,
Mushroom Kingdom has solar energy.
Or at least the Yoshi part does.
huge for a minion.
And a Yoshi
Yeah.
mech.
The Yoshi's Island is hoarding all the green energy. Mushroom Kingdom has to rely on fossil fuels.
Collect crafted costumes.
Huh. Yay, an apple juice box.
Oh my gosh.
There are more than 180 of these costumes.
Solid Snake confirmed.
Get your hands on.
Yoshi, you're not Kirby.
We'll release a demo, which lets you play through the first course.
I
Oh
have
yeah, the
played that.
demo's available. I forgot
I
about
have
that.
played that.
Crafted world game
It's pretty good.
on March 29th.
Compare it to Yoshi's Island.
Headlines coming.
Well, it's a very different. I mean, it's not gameplay wise itself. It's the same. It's the whole grabbing
Charming and
eggs.
fun.
Yeah.
It,
But
it
gameplay-wise,
seemed
it's
like
actually-
Woolly World was just missing something to me.
Yeah. This
Like-
has multiple missions and stuff that you do. So you'll go into a world and it'll say, "Hey, you need to do this," and then if you go back into that level again, it'll have another mission for you to do. You have to do there's one in the demo where you have to collect 5 cows. I should be quiet because Fire Emblem is on the screen. And you have to go find the 5 cows, or you have
she's
to
looking
go
at me.
and get all of the parts to build a train in the level, something like that. So there's reasons to go back into every level. You're not doing the same thing over and over again each time you go into the
Yeah,
level.
I remember there was like the thing where you could get to the end and then like reverse the whole level from a different thing.
It does that, but there's also those different missions. You have different reasons to go into the levels
House
and
Moltres?
replay them.
is the home of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus.
House Articuno, best house.
To the east, a league of nobles
And
or emperor rules what is called
House Zapdos.
That's Hufflepuff.
once consumed by a tempest of war.
Look like you had Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Gryffindor. There's no Slytherin in this game.
Now exists in relative
It's because the red one ate them. Look at that. You can see there would been a fourth split right there, right?
Yeah.
Three houses game.
They couldn't decide on the color, and they're like, let's just make it 3.
As a mercenary traveling with a group led by your father, Gerald. After
I love their animated cutscenes. They do really good stuff.
It's very much anime.
Travel to Garrick Mock Monastery, where you'll receive an offer to teach at the Officers Academy. Around
They
that
teach at the
same
Officers Academy.
you alone
I ain't got time to teach. There's a war going on.
who appears within your mind.
Sothis?
The monastery and the 3 houses.
Garrick Mock Monastery lies at the center of 3 large territories. It is the home
Hogwarts.
of the Church of Seros, the main religion of Fodlan, as well as the Knights of Seros.
The White Dragons.
Its monastery also houses the Officers Academy. Those who train there will go on to shoulder the future of Fodlan. The Officers Academy is comprised of 3 houses. The Black Eagles is for students from the Adrestian Empire, including the House Leader and future Emperor, Edelgard.
Edelweiss.
Lions boasts Prince Dimitri
I ain't never seen no blue line.
as its house leader. This house is for students from Hesse.
I colored the lion blue because I'd never seen a blue lion before.
For students from the Leicester.
Those antlers look
Their house leader,
very pale.
who is the heir
It's like, how does the thing lay down to sleep or anything?
It can't. Well, it has a built-in rest system so it can rest its muscles at night. From
Imagine
having to
going
hold up those
hunting and you
antlers.
see that deer out there, and it's like, alright, so you pull up your gun or bow or whatever you have, take it out. It's not gonna fall over. It's just gonna like,
That dude needs it.
it's gonna like lean over, and then it's like a kickstand. The antlers
That
are
one
just
guy
holding it
needed a
up.
bigger shirt.
students are expected to
Sure.
thrive
His buttons were.
Where he's going, they don't need shirts.
Seros themselves and gain real battle experience.
I mean, see the deer? He's gotta hunt that thing.
To suppressing rebellions. These
Okay, hey, we got to the Fire Emblem part.
But the stakes in each battle are very real. Whether your students live or die will depend on your
Q.
leadership. Strategize as the battle
Dude, if your students die, your parents should not be sending their kids to that school.
It's like both bad parenting and bad teaching. You report that school to
It's 3 students and 50 deaths.
and acquire special skills such as horsemanship.
oh, they took the marriage out of this one then, didn't they?
Probably.
You have been
I haven't seen anything about kids in this game at all.
to you to guide each of them and help them home.
How are they gonna shove Marth into this
Through
game?
combat experience and study, you can help your students reach their
He's the principal. Here's our former alumni, and as you're going through the pictures.
and by doing
Yeah.
so, their bonds will strengthen, and they'll be able to better support each other on the battlefield.
I just thought of a weird crossover. Fire Emblem and Valkyrie profile. No.
That would be
Valkyrie.
interesting.
Is it
Valkyria
profile?
Chronicles?
Chronicles, thank you. So what happens when you have 2 games with similar names? You mix
Oh,
them
there's
up.
Marth. Blue hair equals Marth.
Turn it red and it becomes Roy.
Yep.
3 territories, 3 houses.
People used to play pranks on him by switching his shampoo for dye.
Oh, Beaky Doctor.
Fire Emblem 3 Houses will release on July 26th.
Guess what I'll be playing on July 26th?
Something while you wait for Fire Emblem 3 houses to come in.
So,
It'll probably be Warframe.
originally,
Oh yeah, we still only play Warface.
3 houses would release this spring. But more
Is it Warface or War?
necessary.
Warface, yeah.
And so the new release date is July 26th. That means we'll have to ask
See, I kept hearing everybody saying, this game's getting delayed, this game's getting delayed. I didn't remember them ever saying, hey, the game's coming out in spring.
time for some more Nintendo Switch headlines.
They probably didn't.
Well, he just said it was originally announced for spring.
I couldn't hear him because I was listening to you.
Sorry.
99
99
players walk
players.
in. 1 player walks out.
This is
It's a battle royale.
Where are we dropping, boys?
We're dropping at the bottom.
the iconic puzzle game
It's-
arrives with an online experience like
It's Tetris Battle Royale.
So you just kind of select who you're attacking on there or something?
Yeah. I haven't figured out exactly how you can pick who you want to attack. But up there, the right stick, up there at the top, it's got different things like random kill shots. If you can pick one of those, and I'm assuming that it will go after people who are close to being dead if you choose kill shots, stuff like that. The game's actually really fun if you haven't played it.
I know some people have been doing stream sniping on other people, and so you would see like 20 people target the person streaming at one time.
Really?
Yeah, it's just nuts.
It's one of those games that are like, somebody please download the Nintendo Online service.
Wow, this is definitely a This is like a gritty downgrade version of Dead by Daylight.
Have you played it on PS4 or Xbox?
I've seen a lot of it played. It doesn't interest me. And I don't mean that. Like the reason I said it's gritty, it actually works in its favor because I mean, look at this.
I have not watched anything about this game, so
I definitely don't want to play it because it's too much of a multiplayer focus thing on here.
yeah.
Like you got to work with 3 other people or against 4 people.
I have no interest in that.
Apparently, the community on there is pretty good. For players that completed Undertale.
Dunder Mifflin.
A new experience by Michael Fox.
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott, thank you.
So this is free to download. You can actually download it now, but it won't let you play it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Because I went to the eShop and I clicked on the game and it said download. And so
I
downloaded
love
it.
the censoring he's doing on this.
So I downloaded it and I thought, did they mess up and accidentally release it early? But if you try to launch it, it says checking to see if you can play, and it won't let you play until the 20th.
More chapters coming will not be free.
Daemon X Machina.
Okay, I believe I was interested in this one at one point.
There's a demo if you want to download it.
Yeah, I was interested in this.
So I've played it. There's like 4 missions in the demo, and the last one is a boss fight.
Nice.
It's pretty good. The shooting is weird because you don't have to aim directly at an enemy. If you're close enough, it'll just lock on.
So aim assist
And-
is in there or something.
It's got major aim assist.
That might be a good thing for
Like,
this
not-
type of game.
Even more than like, Call of Duty, where you can do when you pull up iron sights, it'll snap to the enemy.
Yeah. But anytime
This
you have
doesn't-
like high-speed third-person action and a bunch of it's focused on shooting, that might be like a massive assisted thing needed.
I guess they're using like, you're in this futuristic super tech mech thing. It's got targeting assistance, so just get close enough and it'll
Oh.
be fine.
It's also like, why wouldn't you have an AI that's helping you do this stuff if you have a mech? Also,
I
it's
think
like, why
it looks
wouldn't the
really
AI be piloting the mech instead of you?
Realistic racing is headed for Nintendo Switch.
We already have that. It's called
Fully loaded with
Mario Kart.
Gear Club.
usable handling.
This looks. I think this looks really good.
You'll feel like a
Is this actual
Like-
gameplay?
master the world's fastest
Uh,
cars
it-
in
yeah.
sport's most exhilarating races. From the prestigious circuit of Spa-Francorchamps to the narrow city streets of Barcelona. All DLC is included.
I think I'd put it on
100
PS
and some welcoming
early PS3 level racing game.
custom controls.
That's probably closer to late PS3, early PS4.
No. Early PS3, late Xbox 360.
When Grid Autosport speeds on
It-
Nintendo Switch
It's sad that we still have to keep using that. This looks good for a Switch game, but
No, I mean it does look good. This one, I have no interest in this
or for the very
right here.
like, I don't really either. I think it looks good, and apparently it's like this technical marvel that they can get it to even run on the Switch.
Hellblade pulls players deep into the mind of Senua,
Got like a forehead that goes on for days. Ugh.
haunting vision quest through Viking hell to fight for the soul.
I think they said she's supposed to be like, what, 14 or something in this game?
Something like that.
BAFTAs for performance, audio and
Like it looks really good, and I think the motion capture stuff is, you know, really well done. But that's not a game I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
The Nintendo Switch
My
Lite
opinion, it's massively overrated. Mortal Kombat?
The saga
Mortal
told 5 years
Kombat.
in telling is
Pow,
far
pow.
from over.
Oh.
With all new custom character variations, plus new characters and returning veterans taking up the fight. In a fresh new adventure,
Another game I won't play.
players take control
Mortal Kombat or this one?
of Yarnies.
Probably both. Mortal Kombat is what I'm talking about, though.
Play with a friend
I do recall seeing this one on
platforming
what was it, E3 they announced it, and it was like available that day.
March 22nd.
Something like that. Was the first one an Xbox exclusive?
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's why I was surprised. I was like, Switch?
With revamped gameplay and features tailored
Assassin's Creed.
like motion aiming and touch input. Set in the American
There are some other games I rather would have been the first Assassin's Creed games on the Switch, but you know,
Usher in the
I'll take Assassin's
Wait,
Creed.
what was
where I
that
can
he
get
just did?
downloadable content.
That's something new because I don't remember that in the game.
That was that in? Would that
Like ground pounds.
wait? Is that part of the DLC stuff?
It might be.
Okay, that because I never played that, and I know you mentioned like getting mystical powers in that one.
Yeah, you do get mystical powers in the DLC.
Oh, a chocobo dungeon. Nice.
We're pleased to announce that Final Fantasy IX will journey onto Nintendo
Talked completely over Final Fantasy VII.
once a classic, always.
But that's okay. Nintendo forgot to ask for Final Fantasy VIII, so we went straight to 9.
I've gone back and forth over whether or not I want to download Final Fantasy 9.
Wait until you find out that they fixed it.
Yeah, and you know that's one of the things that's kept me from when I saw people saying that there were still some issues with it because it's just a straight port of the PC game.
Ooh, okay. I have not seen this other than the 5 seconds at the end.
No,
I have not.
so you can tell just by looking at this. This is a platinum joint.
Yeah, everything's ridiculous and awesome. Useless poses for no reason.
Trust in the heart of the cards. Why are they tied together? I know there's going to be some story reason, but
I don't know.
it makes sense. The game's called Astral Chain, so
It's their stands. Oh, you get different astral ones. Okay, cool.
You people are leading all of humanity straight to damnation. Straight to damnation? You're the terrorist here!
yeah, well, you're the terrorist, not us. We're not the terrorists.
Goes out to you two,
It's like, you forget, I have a badge and it says I'm police.
doomed to be used by those idiots until you die. Chained to your fate. Powerless.
You also forget you're the one sending this giant monster into the town attacking people.
Masakazu,
Oh, I recognize some of those names in there.
Hideki Kamiya, Takashi Taro. Don't go dying on.
I definitely recognized the works that the first person did. I didn't recognize their name.
Yeah.
What you just witnessed is Astral Chain, a brand new action game in development at Platinum Games.
Don't they have one other game they're working on this year?
Characters were fighting together
Bayonetta.
in battle, didn't it?
One other unannounced game they're working on?
To learn more about how
I don't know.
it will play out in this game.
Yeah.
Please stay tuned. And speaking of Platinum Games, I'm sure you're very curious about Bayonetta 3.
Yes.
Sure, the developers of Bayonetta 3 are hard at work, and I hope you're looking forward to learning more.
Bayonetta is currently playable in the
Please check it out.
Shin Megami Tensei, what was it, DX2 or D2 or whatever it is? Her, the other chick, and then one of the angel guys are playable.
Mm-hmm. This trailer came on. I said, I think I know what this is. Is this what I think it is?
It's like rainwater. I didn't know
And
until
then-
right here. It's like,
Right there, I was
just no.
my jaw dropped. I said, "Are they seriously doing this?" And my daughter thought I had stopped breathing. I want a TV show in that art style.
Right? I was like, they're going full anime for this? What's going on? Are we going to see some awesome design and then da, 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 da.
That's a really good version of the theme.
There, the logo. It is Breath of the Wild. And then we get
Yeah.
the little cute toy looking ones.
I love this visual style. I know a lot of people on the internet have been like, Wind Waker Part 2, but
That's not bad.
I think it's really good. It does a really good job of bringing those sprites into 3D. I love it.
The Goombas are back.
This is while my son has been watching the Mario Maker trailer over and over and over and over again. I've been watching this one over and over and over again.
That's
There's
this
Marin
year.
doing the Windfish song.
So, what did you think? At long last, 1993's Game Boy Classic, The Legend
You know,
of Zelda: Link's Awakening, will find new
Nintendo may. I think they probably have it planned, but they haven't said anything because reasons. But I'm betting Oracle Ages and Seasons.
Oh gosh, I hope so.
I mean, if you remember the Game Boy games, they were pretty much the same style.
They were exactly the same.
There's like some extra sprites here and there, so it's not going to be that big of a difference to just port it over.
I wonder
Well,
if
I
there's
say
any-
port. I mean, you already have your stuff. It's just redo your stuff. Oh, let me end that real quick. Oh, not there. We go.
I wonder if there's anything though they have to do with Capcom to get that one to come out, or what.
I seriously doubt it because Nintendo, I think, owns all the characters, even though Capcom worked on it.
Yeah.
And if they're doing all the work and own everything, there's no reason other than they paid Capcom to do the work the first time.
Our first question this week comes from Lang via Facebook, and he wants to know, with Resident Evil 2 being a major success, I'd love to see other Capcom titles remade with a similar style, such as Dino Crisis. Which game would you want to have the Resident Evil 2 treatment?
Oh my gosh, Dino Crisis! Could you imagine the raptors just constantly lurking in the hallways?
Just waiting to jump out at you.
Oh man. And Dino Crisis original was hard enough to play for me as it was. Like
Yeah.
I think I was constantly out of ammo on that game, so I didn't get too far at all.
Are we just talking like HD remake type stuff?
I think he means like a complete overhaul of everything, kind of like what Square's doing with Final Fantasy VII, what Capcom did with RE2.
Yeah.
Like even the story in the new Resident Evil is it like this the start and the end is still the starting point and the end point are still the same, but the stuff that happens in there is more.
No. Like, the first thing that comes to my mind to get like a really good remake like that would be
Is
something
Bullet
like
Witch.
Well, no. Minish Cap. But
You're right, Bullet Witch is a perfect game. It cannot be made better.
it couldn't. To be fair, I like the concept of Bullet Witch, and if they remade that to actually be a playable game, I'd play it. I'd have to just go out and buy a piece of junk PlayStation or an Xbox though, so I wouldn't worry about breaking it. So like Minish Cap or Lost Planet would be another one. I think if they brought Lost Planet back, the original Lost Planet, and remade that game, I think that would be okay.
For anyone that's listening, the sound you heard me saying "whoa" to was a phone falling off a shelf. Sorry about that. All right, what game did you say again? I'm sorry.
I said either Minish Cap or, and I think Minish Cap is a given at some point, and Nintendo's going to do that. It won't be a Capcom developed thing, but
Oh, kind of like that guy that's doing Link's Awakening in the 64 engine.
yeah.
Yeah, which I would love to see updates on, but I think he stopped doing the updates through that.
He might. I don't know, with Link's Awakening coming out from Nintendo themselves. The other game I said was something like the original Lost Planet.
Oh yeah. As long as they don't
Or
do like what they did with Lost Planet 2 and I think it was 3 where it just went. That seemed like okay, Lost Planet 2 and 3. I didn't play 4, but that seemed like it was kind of starting to fall towards that multiplayer only aspect, maybe even battle royale kind of.
yeah,
And that's where I kind of just got turned off on that series.
the other one I'm thinking of now that just popped into my head, Mega Man Legends.
Oh man. Oh man. What? You're bringing up bad memories of Legends 3, man.
Sorry,
Shame
it
on
had
you.
to be done though.
Ah, Operation Get Him Off the Moon.
So, well, do you have any others?
Okay, I was actually completely joking when I said Bullet Witch, but yeah, it could if it got a full overhaul, it would actually be pretty good of a game if they made the shooting good on there, give you different enemies, made the melee combat work. I mean, it worked, but it was horrible, and give you some speed and the ability to actually aim. I might be going in
Yeah.
circles on what I'm saying. I don't know, but yeah, that polished that game up a bit. No, but seriously, my real answer: Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2.
Are you talking
Not
like
Solid.
old school?
Um,
Yeah,
NES and well, was it
MSX.
MSX2? Those versions.
I can see that. That would be cool. That would be really cool.
It would be well, 2 would just be like Metal Gear Solid, I guess.
They have to keep I Feel Asleep.
I'm sure there would be a joke in there somewhere, kind of like with what they did in Solid 4. Get to the hangar on there, Otacon calls, he's like, alright, you need to switch to disc 2. It's like, there's only one disc. It's like, oh, it's Blu-ray, it's double layered too. Alright, never mind, keep playing.
So yeah, that would be good. And then our last one here comes from Cole via Facebook. He wants to know: has anyone tried the new Apex game? I have. I talked about it, I think last week or the week before.
Yes, it was last week.
It's pretty good. If you like battle royales, it changes up the battle royale formula enough to keep it fresh, make it interesting. I'm not necessarily a fan of constantly putting you in the squads, but
It's because you need a squad that you want to play with.
that's true. You do. But yeah, I think it's a really good battle royale game. If you haven't played it, check it out. You know, it's free, so it can't hurt to try.
I have not played it. Just like MOBAs and such, it just seems like it's going to be that. It's just the current fad game that's out there.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't change up the battle royale in huge ways, so it's still.
It's like it's like League of Legends and Dota 2. They're not changing much. They're just different games.
They're tweaking it to make it something different. And so, if you don't like battle royales, this is not going to change your mind on battle royales.
But it's not Fortnite.
No, it's not. So, yeah, I have played it. Go check it out if you're interested in it. It's a really good game. It's just you have to like battle royales to want to play it. So, but that will be the show for this week. So, thank you, Ethan, for being on the show.
Let us know how you like the format we did this week, since it's a little different, and it might give us an idea for something different to do in the future.
It very well might. It's a good point. If you want to reach out to us, we have tons of new ways to do so. You can email us at podcast@procgent.com. That's PROCGENT.com. You can send us a voicemail if you want by clicking on the voicemail link on the right side of the website. You can send us voicemails up to 90 seconds in length, and we'll play those on future episodes of the show and respond to the questions that you have. If you like what we do here, you can now support us on Patreon, patreon.com/pgint. Patreon supporters will get a video version of the podcast a day early. These will normally go out on Tuesdays. Patreon supporters will get them on Monday. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/progenint. Check out our YouTube channel that we've got and see the content we've got going on up there. And then we still do have the Facebook group where you can interact with us on a daily basis as well.